What if I told you that 3 vegetables sitting in your refrigerator right now could be silently stealing your mobility, clouding your mind, and adding years to how old you feel? And what if 3 other vegetables could do the exact opposite, actually helping you feel stronger, sharper, and more energetic than you have in years? I'm not talking about some exotic superfood or expensive supplement. I'm talking about everyday vegetables that you probably ate this week. The difference between knowing which is which could literally be the difference between independence and dependence in your golden years. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll have the roadmap to transform how you age, starting with your very next meal. Hi everyone! I'm here today to share something that completely changed how I think about nutrition after 60. For years, we've been told that all vegetables are good for us. The more colorful, the better, right? Well, it turns out that's not the complete picture, especially once we hit that milestone 60th birthday. Here's what most health experts won't tell you. Your body at 65 processes food completely differently than it did at 35. Your liver doesn't detoxify as efficiently, your thyroid slows down, your digestive system produces less acid. These aren't flaws, they're natural changes that come with wisdom and experience. But they mean that some foods that were once perfectly fine can now work against you. I discovered this the hard way when my own energy started declining despite eating what I thought was a perfect diet. I was doing everything right, plenty of vegetables, whole grains, staying active, yet I felt more sluggish each month. The joint stiffness was getting worse. My memory wasn't as sharp. Sound familiar? That's when I dove deep into the research specifically focused on how nutrition affects us after 60. What I found shocked me. Not all vegetables are created equal for our age group, and some of the ones we've been told are healthiest might actually be working against us. Let me ask you this. How many of you have noticed that despite eating healthy, you're still dealing with increased joint pain, reduced energy, or that frustrating brain fog? Drop a comment below and let me know, because you're definitely not alone, and there might be a simple explanation sitting right in your produce drawer. Let's start with something that might surprise you: conventional white potatoes. Now, I can almost hear some of you saying, "But I've eaten potatoes my whole life." And you're right, potatoes have been a staple food for generations. But here's what changes after 60. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 67-year-old woman who came to one of my workshops last year. She was frustrated because despite cutting out obvious sugars and processed foods, her energy was still crashing every afternoon, and her knee pain was getting progressively worse. When we looked at her food diary, there it was: potatoes almost every day. Mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, hash browns on weekends. Here's the thing about potatoes that most people don't realize. They actually spike your blood sugar faster and higher than a candy bar. The glycemic index of a white potato is 85, while table sugar is only 65. For those of us over 60, these blood sugar spikes trigger a cascade of inflammation that can last up to 3 days. Think about it this way. If you're eating potatoes several times a week, your body is in a constant state of inflammatory response. That inflammation doesn't just affect your joints. It's like having a low-grade fire burning throughout your entire system, accelerating aging at the cellular level. But there's more. Conventional potatoes are among the most heavily sprayed crops in America. The Environmental Working Group consistently ranks them in their Dirty Dozen list. At 30, your liver could handle these pesticide residues easily. But after decades of exposure, and with our natural detoxification system slowing down, these chemicals accumulate. They interfere with your cellular energy production. Those little powerhouses in your cells called mitochondria start working less efficiently. Margaret eliminated potatoes for just 4 weeks and reported back that her afternoon energy crashes disappeared, and her morning joint stiffness was noticeably better. She wasn't expecting such dramatic results from such a simple change. Now, I'm not saying you can never eat a potato again, but if you're dealing with unexplained fatigue, joint pain, or blood sugar issues, this might be worth exploring. And if you do choose to eat potatoes occasionally, smaller portions with protein and fiber can help blunt that blood sugar spike. The cruciferous vegetable confusion. The second category might shock you even more. Raw cruciferous vegetables. I'm talking about raw broccoli, cauliflower, raw kale in your smoothies, and those trendy raw Brussels sprout salads. These vegetables are nutritional powerhouses. There's no doubt about that. They're packed with vitamins, minerals, and cancer-fighting compounds. But eating them raw after 60 can create some unexpected challenges, particularly for your thyroid. Let me share Dr. Patricia Williams' story. She's a retired physician who started experiencing unexplained weight gain and fatigue in her early 60s. Her blood work showed her thyroid was on the low side of normal, but not quite low enough for medication. She was eating what she thought was the healthiest diet possible, including a large raw kale and broccoli salad every day for lunch. Raw cruciferous vegetables contain compounds called goitrogens, natural substances that can interfere with your thyroid's ability to use iodine. Your thyroid is like your body's thermostat, controlling everything from your metabolism to your brain function. After 60, thyroid function naturally declines, making us more vulnerable to these goitrogenic effects. When your thyroid slows down even slightly, several things happen. Your metabolism can drop by up to 42%, making weight management increasingly difficult. Your muscle protein synthesis decreases, accelerating age-related muscle loss. Your core body temperature drops. That's why many seniors feel cold all the time, especially in their hands and feet. Most importantly, cognitive processing slows down, creating that brain fog that so many people worry might be early dementia. The American Thyroid Association found that even mild hypothyroidism can reduce muscle strength by 30% and nearly triple your fall risk. That's a significant impact from something as innocent as a healthy salad. Dr. Williams switched to lightly steaming her cruciferous vegetables instead of eating them raw. The cooking process breaks down most of the goitrogenic compounds while preserving the beneficial nutrients. Within 6 weeks, her energy improved significantly, and she lost the stubborn weight that had been accumulating. The key here is preparation. These vegetables are incredibly beneficial when properly prepared. Steaming, roasting, or sautéing for just a few minutes neutralizes the problematic compounds while actually making some nutrients more bioavailable. The nightshade surprise. The third category that can be problematic is conventional nightshade vegetables, tomatoes, bell peppers, and eggplants. This one is particularly challenging because these foods are staples in so many healthy diets. Nightshades contain natural compounds called alkaloids, particularly solanine, which act as the plant's natural pesticide system. While younger bodies can efficiently process and eliminate these compounds, our detoxification pathways become less efficient after 60. I remember Robert, a 72-year-old retired teacher who was dealing with increasing joint pain and stiffness. He'd been to several doctors, tried different medications, but nothing seemed to help long-term. His wife had read about nightshade sensitivity and convinced him to try eliminating them for just 2 weeks. Robert was skeptical. How could tomatoes and peppers be causing his pain? But he was willing to try anything. Within 10 days, he noticed his morning stiffness was less severe. By 2 weeks, the improvement was undeniable. When he reintroduced tomatoes after the trial period, the stiffness returned within 48 hours. Research published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that nightshade alkaloids can cross into our bloodstream and bind with cholesterol to form complexes that accumulate in joint tissues. These complexes trigger immune responses that create inflammation. Essentially, your body starts fighting against your own joints. This doesn't mean everyone over 60 needs to avoid nightshades completely. Sensitivity varies greatly between individuals, but if you're dealing with unexplained joint pain, stiffness, or even some neurological symptoms like tingling or muscle cramps, a 2-week elimination trial might provide surprising answers. The additional concern with conventional nightshades is their pesticide load. Due to their susceptibility to pest damage, tomatoes and peppers can have pesticide residues up to 10 times higher than other vegetables. These chemicals add to the toxic burden that our aging detoxification systems struggle to handle. If you choose to continue eating nightshades, selecting organic varieties and cooking them thoroughly can significantly reduce their potential negative impact. Cooking breaks down some of the problematic alkaloids, while organic choices eliminate the additional chemical burden. Now let's flip the script and talk about the vegetables that can actually help reverse some aspects of aging and support your vitality after 60. Leafy greens, your brain's best friend. First up are leafy greens. Yani, spinach, arugula, Swiss chard, and other dark, leafy vegetables. These aren't just good for you, they're specifically beneficial for the challenges we face after 60. Let me tell you about Helen, a 69-year-old grandmother who was worried about her memory. She kept forgetting names, losing her train of thought mid-conversation, and struggling with words that used to come easily. Her doctor said it was normal aging, but Helen wasn't ready to accept that. Helen started incorporating 2 cups of cooked leafy greens into her daily routine. She'd sauté spinach with her eggs, add Swiss chard to her soups, and blend spinach into smoothies. Within about 6 weeks, she noticed she was recalling names more quickly and felt more mentally sharp during conversations. Here's the science behind Helen's improvement. Leafy greens contain unique compounds called lutein and zeaxanthin. Unlike most nutrients, these can actually cross the blood-brain barrier and accumulate in brain tissue, particularly in areas responsible for memory and processing speed. A groundbreaking study from Tufts University used functional MRI scans to measure brain activity in seniors during cognitive tasks. They found that people with the highest levels of these compounds had neural responses that resembled those of people decades younger. The researchers were amazed by the magnitude of the effect, but the benefits go beyond brain health. Leafy greens are rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts to nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation throughout your entire system. For those of us over 60, this improved circulation translates to lower blood pressure naturally, without medication side effects, enhanced oxygen delivery to muscles during activity, supporting strength and endurance, reduced leg pain when walking, allowing for longer, more comfortable walks, better overall cardiovascular function, reducing strain on your heart. The vitamin K in leafy greens plays a crucial role in calcium management, ensuring calcium strengthens your bones rather than hardening your arteries. Just 1 cup of cooked spinach provides over 1,000% of your daily vitamin K needs. This same vitamin activates proteins that prevent calcium from depositing in arterial walls, protecting your cardiovascular health while supporting skeletal strength. Perhaps most impressive is the folate content. Folate is essential for DNA repair, a process that becomes less efficient with age, but remains crucial for preventing cellular damage. By supporting proper DNA maintenance, leafy greens help reduce cancer risk and slow cellular aging. For maximum benefit, aim for at least 2 cups of leafy greens daily, lightly steamed to preserve nutrients while enhancing absorption. If you're not used to eating greens, start small and gradually increase. Try adding them to smoothies, soups, or dishes where their flavor blends with other ingredients. Purple and red vegetables, nature's anti-inflammatory medicine. The second category that can transform your health includes purple and red vegetables, beets, purple cabbage, red bell peppers, and red onions. Their vibrant colors signal the presence of powerful compounds with specific benefits for aging bodies. These vegetables contain anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that have a special affinity for vascular tissue and joints, precisely the areas where we experience the most age-related challenges. Let me share Maria's story. At 64, Maria was an avid gardener who found herself increasingly limited by joint pain and fatigue. Simple tasks like kneeling to plant flowers or carrying watering cans became difficult. Her doctor suggested anti-inflammatory medications, but Maria wanted to try natural approaches first. Maria started incorporating beets into her daily routine, roasted beets in salads, beet juice with breakfast, and pickled beets as snacks. She also added purple cabbage to her meals and snacked on red bell pepper strips. Within 3 weeks, she noticed a significant difference in her energy levels and joint comfort. Research from Wake Forest University backs up Maria's experience. They found that seniors consuming anthocyanin-rich vegetables experienced a 38% reduction in inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein within just 3 weeks. Participants reported significant improvements in joint flexibility and range of motion. Beets deserve special attention for their unique nitrate content. These compounds convert to nitric oxide in your body, acting as a natural vasodilator. Studies show that regular beet consumption can reduce blood pressure by an average of 8 points systolic within just 2 weeks. That's often the difference between needing medication and managing blood pressure naturally. The improved circulation from beets leads to remarkable benefits. Enhanced exercise tolerance and endurance. Activities that previously left you winded become noticeably easier. Reduced leg pain when walking, particularly beneficial for those with circulation challenges. Increased blood flow to the brain, supporting cognitive function and mental clarity. A study in the Journals of Gerontology found that seniors who consumed beet juice before exercise performed 24% longer before exhaustion compared to those who didn't. The researchers noted that muscle tissue showed less damage and faster recovery, effects that rivaled some medications designed to improve exercise capacity. Red bell peppers contain more vitamin C than oranges, crucial for collagen production that maintains skin elasticity, joint cushioning, and blood vessel integrity. After 60, our natural vitamin C production declines, making dietary sources increasingly important for wound healing and tissue repair throughout the body. Purple cabbage contains unique compounds that support detoxification pathways, helping your body eliminate environmental toxins that accumulate with age. These compounds boost glutathione production, often called the body's master antioxidant, which becomes depleted with age and certain medications. Fermented vegetables, the secret to healthy aging. The third category might be the most powerful, yet often overlooked. Fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, kimchi, and fermented pickles. These traditional foods address a critical aspect of healthy aging that most people don't even know about. After 60, our gut naturally loses beneficial bacterial diversity due to changes in stomach acid production, medication effects, and shifting dietary patterns. This loss leads to increased inflammation, reduced nutrient absorption, and compromised immune function. Let me tell you about James, a 71-year-old retired engineer who was dealing with digestive issues, frequent infections, and what he described as feeling off most of the time. His energy was low, his mood was declining, and he seemed to catch every bug that went around. James started adding just 2 tablespoons of unpasteurized sauerkraut to his lunch daily. It seemed too simple to make a difference, but within 2 weeks, his digestive issues improved dramatically. By the end of the month, he felt more energetic and mentally clear than he had in years. Stanford University research explains James's transformation. They found that seniors who consumed fermented vegetables daily experienced a remarkable 73% reduction in inflammatory markers within just 2 weeks, more powerful than many anti-inflammatory medications, but without side effects. The benefits extended far beyond digestion. Participants showed enhanced production of short-chain fatty acids that protect colon cells and maintain intestinal integrity. They demonstrated better absorption of minerals essential for bone health, including calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Most importantly, they showed strengthened intestinal barrier function, reducing the leaky gut that allows toxins to enter circulation and trigger system-wide inflammation. The gut-brain connection becomes increasingly important with age. About 90% of your body's serotonin, the neurotransmitter that regulates mood and sleep, is produced in your gut. Fermented vegetables support this production, which explains why many people report improved mood, better sleep, and enhanced mental clarity. The immune benefits are particularly important for seniors. About 70% of your immune system resides in your gut, and fermented vegetables help maintain this defense network. Studies show reduced frequency of respiratory infections, faster recovery when infections do occur, and more robust responses to vaccinations among those who regularly consume fermented foods. For maximum benefit, include a small serving, about 2 to 3 tablespoons, of unpasteurized fermented vegetables with meals daily. Start small and gradually increase to allow your system to adjust. Choose varieties found in the refrigerated section, as pasteurized versions lack the living bacteria that provide the most significant benefits. Now, let's talk about how to practically implement these changes and what you can realistically expect. I want to share the story of David and Susan, a couple in their mid-60s who attended one of my workshops about 8 months ago. David was dealing with increasing joint pain that was affecting his golf game, while Susan was frustrated with brain fog and afternoon energy crashes that made her feel much older than her years. They decided to make these changes together, which I always recommend. Having support makes any dietary change much more sustainable. They eliminated conventional potatoes, switched to cooking their cruciferous vegetables, and reduced their nightshade consumption to see if it made a difference. At the same time, they committed to adding leafy greens to their breakfast routine, incorporating colorful purple and red vegetables into their dinners, and starting their meals with a small serving of sauerkraut. The first week was an adjustment period. Susan missed her morning raw kale smoothie, and David wasn't thrilled about giving up his weekend hash browns. But by the second week, they both noticed their digestion was more comfortable. By week 4, the changes were undeniable. David's morning stiffness was significantly reduced, and he was playing golf with less discomfort. Susan's afternoon energy crashes disappeared, and she felt mentally sharper during her book club discussions. 3 months later, David's golf handicap had actually improved because he could practice more comfortably. Susan had started volunteering again, something she'd stopped because she felt too mentally foggy to be helpful. But here's what really impressed me. At their 6-month follow-up, both had reduced their reliance on over-the-counter pain medications. David's blood pressure had improved to the point where his doctor was considering reducing his medication. Susan's annual cognitive screening showed improvements in several areas. The key to their success was gradual implementation. They didn't try to change everything at once. Week 1 was about elimination, removing the potentially problematic foods. Week 2 was about adding the beneficial foods. By week 3, they were experimenting with new recipes and cooking methods. They also kept a simple daily log of their energy levels, joint comfort, and overall well-being. This helped them connect the dots between what they ate and how they felt, which reinforced their commitment to the changes. I know some of you might be thinking, "This sounds complicated," or "I've been eating these foods my whole life. How can they suddenly be problematic?" These are valid concerns, so let me address them. First, these changes don't happen overnight. The effects I'm describing typically develop gradually over years or even decades. It's not that tomatoes suddenly became toxic on your 60th birthday. Rather, the cumulative effects of certain compounds, combined with age-related changes in how your body processes them, can reach a tipping point where they start working against you instead of for you. Think of it like this. At 30, your body was like a high-performance car with perfect oil filters, efficient engine systems, and robust maintenance capabilities. At 65, you're driving the same reliable car, but the filters need more frequent changes. The engine requires higher quality fuel, and preventive maintenance becomes more critical. Second, individual sensitivity varies greatly. Some people over 60 can eat nightshades with no issues, while others notice immediate improvements when they eliminate them. The only way to know for sure is to try a careful elimination and reintroduction process. I recommend starting with a 2-week elimination of the potentially problematic foods while simultaneously adding the beneficial ones. Keep a simple daily log of your energy, joint comfort, sleep quality, and mental clarity. After 2 weeks, reintroduce one category at a time, waiting at least 3 days between reintroductions to clearly identify any reactions. Another common concern is cost. Organic vegetables are expensive, many people tell me. While organic is ideal for reducing pesticide exposure, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. If budget is a concern, prioritize buying organic versions of the heavily sprayed vegetables like potatoes and nightshades, while conventional leafy greens might be acceptable if that's what fits your budget. Some people worry about getting enough nutrients if they eliminate certain vegetables. Remember, we're not eliminating entire food groups. We're making strategic substitutions. Instead of raw kale, you're eating cooked kale. Instead of conventional tomatoes, you might choose organic ones or reduce the frequency. Instead of potatoes, you might enjoy sweet potatoes or other root vegetables that don't spike blood sugar as dramatically. For those with existing health conditions or taking medications, especially blood pressure or blood-thinning medications, consult with your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes. The improved circulation from beets and leafy greens, while generally beneficial, might require medication adjustments. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Aging is inevitable, but how we age is largely within our control. The food choices you make today don't just affect how you feel tomorrow. They're shaping the person you'll be 5, 10, or 20 years from now. The research is clear. Certain vegetables can either accelerate age-related decline or help preserve and even restore function. The difference lies in understanding how your body has changed and adapting your nutrition accordingly. I've seen too many people resign themselves to increasing pain, declining energy, and reduced mental sharpness as just part of getting older. But I've also seen people in their 70s and 80s who are more vibrant and active than people decades younger, and nutrition plays a crucial role in that vitality. Your takeaway from today should be hope and empowerment. You have more control over how you age than you might have realized. Start with small changes, maybe eliminating potatoes for 2 weeks while adding a daily serving of leafy greens. Pay attention to how you feel. Your body will tell you what's working. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about making informed choices that support your goals for healthy aging. Some days, you might choose to enjoy that tomato from your garden, and that's perfectly fine. The goal is awareness and intention in your food choices. If you found this information helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos on healthy aging. Next week, we'll be exploring the surprising truth about supplements for seniors. Which ones are worth your money, and which ones might actually be harmful? I'm genuinely curious about your experience. Which of these vegetables do you eat regularly? And if you decide to try any of these changes, please come back and share your results in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take that first step toward healthier aging. Until next time, remember that every meal is an opportunity to invest in your future self. Choose wisely, and your body will thank you with enhanced energy, clearer thinking, and greater comfort in the years ahead. Here's to your health and many more years of independence and vitality.